Greetings from Storybrooke. This is the land where every stone we uncover just leads to another stone. Then there's the most important question of all. What could possibly happen next? I invite you to join us as we find out. Welcome to Greetings from Storybrooke. We also talk about ABC's hit series Once Upon a Time. Hit series. Okay. How are you guys doing this week?
I'm doing good.
Oh God. I feel like after last week, there was so much going on last week. With it being the first week back, I feel like this week was kind of meh. I don't know about you guys. I know you had that opinion about last week too. Anyway, Monica. But I guess I'm already jumping ahead of myself as far as that's concerned. Who's going to be reading the rhyming summary this week?
I will.
Okay, Monica. All right. Take it away, Monica.
Henry is telling how it goes down in his meta podcast, H-Town. Sabine hasn't received a safety permit. Could Sandy be trying to make her quit? As Naveen and Sabine wait for the gator, a necklace makes her think him a traitor. And Lucy saves Henry by taking back her good nights in this week's episode, A Taste of the Heights.
Taste of the Heights. Good job on the rhyme this week, Monica.
Thank you.
Especially with such short notice. Elizabeth, I think it was you who messaged everyone, there's nothing in the rhyme.
Thank you, Liz, for pointing that out. We would have been blindsided.
Well, I could have sworn I said something last night after I had put up the doc and whatnot, but I guess I was wrong. I did not even think about it. I worked. I put the doc together and I put the beginning in there, and then it was like, okay, my job's done. Someone else needs to. and apparently I forgot to let everyone else know that. So.
Yep.
I hadn't even put in my notes yet.
What's up, Tony?
I said doubt.
Excuse me. Oh, not feeling too good today. All right.
Uh-oh.
So, no, it's fine. It's fine. So it looks like this is kind of a Sabine centric episode this week. I've actually never seen The Princess and the Frog.
Oh, it's cute.
Very cute.
Okay.
Yeah,
I watched it last season.
So all three of you have seen it then.
Yeah.
So many times, so many
Okay.
ways.
Is there then I'll ask this now as far as the portrayal of the characters, Facilier and Naveen and whatnot. What's the twist? What's the you know what I'm saying?
Spot on.
Naveen has a brother. It is not in the movie.
Okay.
That was
But the spear, all that kind of the gator, all that.
The spear wasn't in
gator-
the movie.
none of that was in
there was no spear, and the gator was actually quite friendly.
And
Okay.
he played
Yeah.
He played what?
He played music. What
Yeah,
he
He played the trumpets.
Right.
The
Yeah,
gator.
and of course, the characters of Sabine and
And then in the movie she's not a princess. She's just an ordinary working girl trying to make more of her life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
the personalities are on point for Sabina and I
Naveen.
keep trying to call him Naive, and that's a completely different.
Naveen was definitely Naveen was definitely arrogant and cocky,
like he was in the show. Then
they kept true to his persona. But as for that spear was non-existent.
And was he being controlled by Facilier in the?
No.
Not at all. Well, no, actually, he was captured. And his right hand man at the time was kind of jealous, so Dr. Facilier had glamored him to look like Naveen to trick what's her face, her Tiana's friend, just because she was kind of sort of not really princessy or whatever, something like that. But,
Okay.
So.
All right, so
I mean, basically in that movie, I don't remember why, but Naveen goes to Dr. Facilier, and Facilier, or what am I saying now? Facilier turns him into a frog.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I just
So
lay out the
Naveen,
movie for you. If you haven't seen it, oh well.
so Naveen's a
Okay, so
frog.
then somehow Naveen as a frog ends up at this balcony where Tiana is like wishing on a star. And then she like freaks out because this frog talks to her, because it's a talking frog. Who wouldn't freak out? And then he tries to convince her, because he thinks that she's a princess. He's like, well, if you kiss me, I'll turn back into myself. So she reluctantly kisses him, and then she herself turns into a frog, and they're both very surprised, and they're like, wait, what? Kind of thing. So that's kind of what gets the story going.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, I really wish that they had kind of stuck to that, really, and then kind of made it like a short flashback of how they became friends as frogs, and then they grew to love each other, blah blah blah. All that stuff. Boy meets girl. Fall in love stuff, but it was totally different. But yeah, I'm ready to talk about it.
So there wasn't really too many once twist. Really, it doesn't sound as far as I guess the brother. You said.
The brother and him working with Facilier. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, now for him being under Dr. Facilier's I guess quote unquote clutches, that's the same. But working for him, that was the difference. Like because he was kind of more of like a prisoner, and with being turned into a frog.
Well, although I've never seen the movie, I do see it. Like the character designs definitely seem to be, Facilier's wardrobe and Naveen's wardrobe and whatnot. Seem to be spot on.
Yeah, they definitely stuck to they definitely kept up with his appearance and things like that too. And yeah, like the whole thing was spot on. I think it was a very good cosplay.
For the most part, I like the character of Facilier. I have seen some I don't know misgivings. I have some misgivings cosplay. I have some misgivings about like what they're doing with him on the show right now. We'll get into that as we go into the notes. So if there are no objections, I will go on with the episode so we can get into our notes.
Continue.
Okay.
All right. So Jacinda visits Belfry's grave as Henry's podcast gets us up to date on the happenings in H-Town. Afterwards, they head to Sabine's food truck. Lucy asks if she needs any help, but Jacinda knows better. Sabine can be a bit controlling. She likes to say that she knows what she wants. Sabine says the two should spend some time together. Maybe invite Henry. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Cinda jokes that by tonight, Sabine will be the food truck queen. Flashback to Tiana's palace. Everyone gathers as she prepares for her coronation. The crowds are anxious to meet their new queen. Sabine is nervous. Regina assures her, and suddenly Facilier appears, and without an invitation, none less. Though through context, it would seem that he knows Regina quite well, but that's beside the point. He has come with a warning for the new queen. A beast threatens the kingdom, and she must face it before becoming queen. Even though Facilier is a trickster, she knows she must check for herself should it turn out to be true. Back in the Heights, Weaver and Rogers sort through their clues in the evidence room, while across town, Henry tries to get some writing done at Ronnie's. The lights begin to flicker when a stranger appears. We recognize him as Facilier, but he introduces himself as Baron Samdi, an investor who would like to help with the bar. He leaves a card, and the lights seem to adjust as he leaves. So yeah. How did Facilier what's going on with Facilier and Regina here? So through the scene there, it seems that Facilier knew Regina when she was the evil queen, but this is a realm that no one's known about or visited before. So how does that make any sense?
You know what? Can I be the first just to say when does our favorite hit series show make any sense nowadays after 7 years?
I'm really sorry. I kind of gave them like,
Benefit of the doubt.
well, no, what was it last week with the Robin and everything? So I mean, at least now we see. At first, I was kind of like thinking to myself, "Wait a second, how can Zelina, Zelina and Robin and Robin and Alice and all that? So like, how did all of that happen?" But they kind of more or less showed how that happened. That she got sucked up into this other portal when she was trying. Like, so they made all of that kind of make sense. This, I really do not see how they could, because I mean, if you're talking about going back to what, season 4?
I guess so.
No,
I
I'm
mean,
at least before season 4. Isn't that when Regina like really turned to the good side around season 4?
well, yeah, she was just coming into being good. She had just helped the other defeat Selena when she was trying to make the portal to go back to the past, and that's when she awoken the powers of light of her magic. But as for the timeline, no, I mean, when this could have happened, I don't know. I mean,
Is Facilier someone that can travel between
worlds, I would say
in worlds or realms or whatever the case may be, and she did. I don't know.
he would have had to. That's the only explanation.
That's the only. Yeah, really is the only thing I can think of.
It just seems like anybody can, now it's just so easy to not only create portals, but can now realm jump.
Yeah, now you're talking about going between different, like, I wouldn't even call this a realm or portal. I don't even know what to call it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
To be honest with you, I think that this is probably still the same. Still the same. Enchanted Forest, but we're in a very completely different part.
One that mean the same Enchanted Forest that we've spent like the past 8 years in, or 7 years in.
Like I would say, so think of it as a MMO. Worldwide, everybody plays. Maybe this is just an undiscovered part of the Enchanted Forest. I don't know. I mean, because they say other realm or something like that. Maybe.
Right.
I'm not sure. I don't know. Wild theory.
I mean, I always kind of felt like, you've got 2 different hooks.
But he came from the Wish realm. That's a different realm.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely a different realm.
So I don't know. Like the frozen people are a different country within
the Enchanted Forest.
Enchanted Forest realm. So yeah, I could definitely see Tiana's country being just another country in the realm.
Yeah, but I mean, like when it's like when you see it, there is they how they said that, hey, well, our parents were going to this place that used to be called something Misthaven, and it kind of seems like it's kind of like on a map where it shows you like the Enchanted Forest and all the surrounding places within the map, and Arendelle is kind of like on the north,
right,
very north end.
Mulan's country was in there somewhere, and so was Agrabah. But I feel like where we are now is not on that map.
Okay.
I feel like where we are now is another realm. In fact, I believe they even say another realm, like at the beginning of the season when they first showed this place. I believe the caption on the screen said like another realm or the other realm or something along those lines, and they didn't really give us like a timeline. It didn't say like I don't even think it I don't even think it said several years ago. I think they've even tried to stop giving us any kind of
timeline, time period.
But anyway,
I'm gonna
we're gonna stop spilling haterade for just a moment. But I just really don't. Yeah, I know. That really bothered me, to be honest with you. Elizabeth, do you have anything to add? I see you didn't really put anything in notes, but
no, honestly, I haven't even touched the notes. So
okay, but do you have anything to add? You've been kind of quiet.
Yeah, I'm yawning a lot right now, and I'm not even that tired, so I don't understand why I'm yawning right now. I feel like most of my comments are really more for the end of the episode.
Okay.
I might come up with something here and there, but as right now, I don't really have anything.
All right, no problem. If you just feel free to speak up. I just wanted to make sure you had,
Thank you.
No problem. Tony, you had something to add about Facilier?
Mm-hmm. So he's the big bad ? I mean, we went from Lady Tremaine to Drizella to Gothel to now Facilier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm confused. ? Who is the big bad? I mean, we only have a few episodes left anyway, so
really
it's like I don't know.
I don't know that we have a big bad, to be honest with you right now. I feel like they were probably trying, I feel like what we're going to be getting in these first few episodes back was before they really knew what was happening.
Mhm.
I'm sure that they had already started filming or whatnot. I mean, the news was only a week or two ago, if I'm not mistaken, right? As far as
not too long ago about his cancellation.
it
So,
was
I mean,
like just before we started recording again.
anything that they had, would have
right.
either.
I'm sure they were already in post production on at least 2 to 3 episodes. Before they got the news. So I would say that like whatever we're seeing now was supposed to be setting up whatever was going to be going forward, but now
now we're having to backpedal.
Yeah, now we're having to like close everything up. So like you've got like Kelly, talking about Chad, and he was even, before the break, we had been like he's been cast. One of the guys that was, I don't know if you guys watch Hulu's Runaways, but he was on that, and he was supposed to be playing Chad, Kelly's husband.
That's still slated to happen.
That's what I was just going to say, but I'm sure it's going to be far diminished from what they, from whatever they had planned previously, because I mean, you're bringing on a totally new character. There's no reason, if anything, it'll be to just close out Kelly, Selena, whatever her character,
Yeah.
So yeah, I just, I feel like the first few episodes back were, now maybe 3 to 4 episodes maybe will be, them that they really couldn't at that point. They couldn't course correct. They had already gone into post production. It's those episodes after that came after the news is when we'll really start seeing any changes they might have made. So yeah, probably Dr. Facilier probably was the big bad. And from what I've read in interviews or whatnot, they never really, this was their arc for Tremaine all along. They never really, it's always been their thing from the beginning. I mean, even you can see with Regina and Rumpel and whatnot is, evil is not born, it's made, it's circumstances. And, I guess they wanted to show again, even though they already had it with Regina, someone go as far as they could. And then, about the whole, I think I even mentioned it last week about how it was almost kind of a tough love scenario with Drizella as opposed to, although I kind of feel like, especially earlier in the season, it was way more than tough love, but anyway.
It was like no love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No love at all. Like, this is how we've been, I don't love you.
Was blaming her for everything. It was, there was no, it wasn't about like,
I love my other daughter.
Yeah.
And then it's like all of a sudden forceful, tearful, hey, I've always loved you, even though I never told you so.
It's like Monica said last week, that definitely wasn't earned. But now we're just talking about old episodes. Monica, did you have anything to add?
A couple of notes on this section. Love Henry's making a podcast. He's selling the show better than the marketing department. So why don't we just put him in the marketing department? Why is Tiana chasing that newspaper?
So she can read about Victoria Belfry or whatever.
It seemed like
who does that?
Weird.
No,
yeah. Yeah.
Weird.
So they can show us the headline.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to catch it.
That Henry never left her bedside, but
How you
she was
know?
in a coma. So how did she know that?
Yeah, right. Well, she was probably told.
Mm-hmm.
But
Probably.
yeah, I hear you.
And I'm not sure if I misheard something, but I thought I heard Tiana call Lucy Amelia.
Well, while they were in the food truck, or
Right.
I
didn't hear that.
catch that. Yeah, and I did see this part in your notes yesterday, so I actually did try to go back and catch it, and I didn't catch it myself, but I don't know.
I it threw me for a loop.
Okay. And it could be there, but it wasn't something that I noticed or caught myself.
Okay.
Oh man, excuse me. All right, so moving on. In the other realm, Nook, Ella, and Tiana look for signs of the beast as they are surprised by someone who is apparently on the same quest. Prince Naveen of Maladonia. He tells them they are tracking a giant gator, and his enchanted spear is the only thing that can kill it. They allow him to tag along. Back at the Heights, Sabine gets ready for the food fair and is surprised by Drew, a friend from cooking school. He didn't just come to say hi, he's got a truck too. And wouldn't you know, he's serving Cajun. Small world. Meanwhile, before heading off to game night, Henry gives Ronnie the card that the strange investor left behind. She tells Kelly Sam D is Facilier. They decide they need to find out if he's awake. Henry shows up to Jacinda's, and Lucy tells him about the book Belfry showed her before she got sick. While she may not have the book, he'll believe her once he shares true love's kiss with Jacinda. No one's really got any notes in the doc here for this part. So before I move on, does anyone have anything to add?
I wanted to say something about it, but it was just like, I guess, little tidbits of what could be. I guess, I mean, about the book per se. I think it's kind of funny how she found a page and not the whole book. You know.
Yeah, I think that happens later though.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Probably
later.
so. Yeah. Mhm.
Steve.
Oh,
It's part of
Yeah.
the scene.
No,
I love the line. That's a lot to put on just one kiss.
I know that was a good line, and it was so cute watching Lucy play
yeah.
matchmaker.
Well, if we're going by lines, what was it? Was it Tiana said something about? Oh, great! Now he's talking about his enchanted spear.
Oh, Bobby Hawk.
Yes.
This is a family show. Okay.
Please,
There's
there
the
was
other one.
Still.
anyway. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
It's getting late.
I don't
6:30.
think. Yeah, I don't think. Well, it's not just 6:30 for us.
No. It's what it was
10
another
o'clock
line.
here.
Like it was in it was a line in the show
Yeah,
oh,
but
my
bad.
Lucy.
when she tried to act all like
yeah.
it's 6:30.
I guess I better turn in.
You guys are getting ahead of yourselves.
Yeah, I know. I know. We're getting ahead of ourselves. All right. So yeah, apparently there wasn't really much to say about those scenes because we're like jumping ahead of ourselves.
We just want to get to it in the end.
All right. So Weavers and Rogers clues lead them to the town bakery. Their specialty is gingerbread. The detectives ask if she remembers seeing the doctor. She says she didn't see her. Get it? She's blind. The bakers say she was just delivering. The baker. I didn't write the joke. The baker says she was just delivering test results. It's obvious the baker is hiding something. Elsewhere, Sabine decides to size up the competition. After a sample of his beignets, she's far from impressed. As she gloats, an officer arrives to check up on her credentials. In the other realm, the search party continues and their hunt for the beast. They find a victim that leads them in the direction of Firefly Island. Nook and Ella care for the villager while Tina and Naveen go after the gator. Back at the food fair, the cops are shutting her down. Sabine doesn't have the right permits. Looks like someone tipped him off, and Sabine can only think of one person that would do it. She confronts Drew, but he says he had nothing to do with it. He thinks his silent investor Sandy may have, though. But it doesn't matter. Without a permit, she's screwed. In the other realm, Tiana and Naveen lay in wait for the beast. She accuses him of hunting for glory. He tells her that's not what he's there for. The gator killed his brother. She recognizes a necklace he has and accuses him of working for Facilier. Just then, the gator appears and he falls overboard. Back in the Heights, Kelly cleans up the bar when Sandy shows up looking for Ronnie. Kelly pretends to be Ronnie and refuses his help. He says he would like to ask the other sister when Ronnie, acting as Kelly, shows up and agrees with Ronnie, Kelly, whoever. At Jacinda's, Lucy wins yet another game and decides to call it an early night, leaving Henry and Jacinda to spend some time alone. Okay, so a few things about these scenes that I didn't put in my notes here. First of all, I really like the new witch they found there, the Baker witch, the Hansel and Gretel witch. Why are you shaking your head, Elizabeth?
She was so creepy.
That's what I like about her.
I
love her. I don't want cookies either.
I loved her. She was like so creepy.
Definitely do not eat her cookies. You
know,
No.
that was tempting, but no.
She was so creepy. I was like, yes.
Yeah, and I loved like all the nods to the Hansel and Gretel story without actually having to say anything. I thought they did a really good job with that scene. Okay, juxtapose. Food permits don't work like that. Oh wait, that's later. I'm jumping ahead again.
That's later.
Bobby, you just read the scene to us. How are you jumping ahead like this?
I don't know.
I didn't because that part is so wacky that I cannot wait till we both talk about it.
Yeah. Never mind. Okay, sorry. So once again, I'm jumping ahead of myself. You all right, Tony?
I kind of dropped something.
What'd you drop?
iPad.
You okay? Did it break?
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. It's tough.
I thought you like dropped your computer. I was like, what happened?
That would have been terrible.
Anyway, okay, yeah. So, Elizabeth, do you have anything to add before I move on?
Well, I mean, we were kind of just talking about it, but I'm gonna bring it up again for a second. Lucy turning in at 6:30.
Yeah.
I don't know. I granted, I don't have children. I'm not surrounded by children all the time. But I don't think it's normal for children to want to turn in early.
No.
No.
I'm like, from my perspective of what I've heard from my friends, they fight you to go to bed. But I know this is a different scenario because she's trying to get her parents together, and it's so cute watching her play matchmaker.
Yeah,
it's so cute. It's like so obvious, like, oh, I'm gonna go to bed. So obvious, child.
And Henry being like, oh yeah, she's back to her old tricks.
Oh, it's 6:30. I think I better go turn in.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Okay, so Tony, do you have a few notes here?
Yes. So, like we were saying earlier, she is a great replacement. Like, I bet if the first person who turned it out to be the blind witch was actually, had a Storybrooke persona at the time, I think she also would have, been cloudy eyed like that. Like how they had her, within the actual, town and everything. She probably would have had her own, bakery stuff, all that. But secondly, after we already talked about that, I don't know if I went ahead too. Hold on a second.
Not really.
Not really. Okay, yeah. Tiana's slipping. Who in their right mind can open up a food truck and be like, yeah, so I'm gonna sell food, but I'm not gonna have all my paperwork.
And she shouldn't have been getting upset about it.
Right, like
it should have been like, well, damn, or well, darn, I guess I kind of
I kind of screwed up there.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if I'm going to be mad at anyone, I'm going to be mad at myself. Like if I get pulled over and don't have insurance, you know, I knew that I didn't have insurance when I went driving.
Right. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
You're going to probably get arrested.
Right. It's not, you know.
I mean,
I ain't going to blame the insurance company because I didn't decide to get insurance.
hello. I mean, it's just the same thing. Like, no, she actually said she did do it already. She did call in to
that was
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm sure the check was in the mail too.
Oh my God. Oh, come on. You can't be that what's the word I'm looking for? That harsh, I guess. Because what if she really did, and she was like,
It doesn't matter. What matters is that she hasn't.
Sabine, I mean, just I feel like that was her just saying like, oh, of course I have
it.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it in the mail. Come on.
I mean, yeah. I mean, say if you were, even though this would have probably been an important night for her, for her business to grow, I still wouldn't have taken that chance because that
You
does
would have
happen.
gotten a friend. You know, I don't know if Jacinda has a permit or not. She did work in a food place before. You know, so she could have had Jacinda, you know, helping her out there, just like the cop said. All you need is one person there. But yeah. Stupid.
She's slipping. She's slipping.
And then Monica, you had some notes as well.
My phone turned off. Hang on a sec.
No, you're fine.
So when the cop first shows up, it's broad daylight, and then all of a sudden it's nighttime. How long was he there?
I don't know. I mean, I mean, benefit of the doubt. I mean, I know that it can turn from daylight to nighttime pretty quick. Like if you're talking about, you know, like, you know, dawn, dusk, you know, which is about the time a food fair would be setting up too. So
okay.
TV shows have a habit of doing stuff like this. It's like, hey, you know, like,
you know, say it's 5 in the afternoon, and then
and then all of a sudden it's dark. Like,
but seriously, I mean, there's been plenty of times where it's been like, you know, like, well, I really need to go to the store before it's dark, and then I turn around, it's like, oh, it's dark.
I mean, but this is TV. TV does have a habit of doing this. Like, for example, Power Rangers.
Oh,
they're fighting in broad daylight, and then all of a sudden, you know, like we go into a quick commercial, and then we come back, and then they're still fighting, and it's dark. Wait, when did it have time to turn dark? This makes no sense. I agree with you. Like, how long did it take to be like, okay, check the paperwork? Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, you can't be here.
It does turn dark pretly quick, but it didn't look to be close.
I hear you saying it was just, you know, I understand. I like I said, that was just me kind of playing devil's advocate, trying to.
I get it. Yeah.
And then you had said something about Naveen.
Yeah. How he says that they're just gonna sit there quietly and wait for the gator to show up, and then neither of them can shut the hell up. Did any of you guys go fishing as a kid? I mean, my dad would have had my hide if I talked that much.
I agree with you. My grandmother would do the same thing. Boy, shut up! You're gonna eat a fish.
Exactly. And the two of them standing up in the boat. Like, have neither of you been in a boat before? That's how you capsize the daggone thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that whole scene, just the two of them being clueless.
But I mean, okay, I understand. I have not gone fishing, but if you are trying to not scare the fish I would understand maybe not talking, but this is a gator and you're trying to get it to come to you, right? So wouldn't talking like entice it or something like, oh, fresh meat kind of thing? I don't know.
I guess so, but I mean, hey, I guess it's called putting in a trap, to bait, and I guess, hey, Naveen capsiding, off of the boat. Oh, that's perfect. That that's perfect. He's bait, live bait.
Well, within the story, I mean, he's saying, "Let's be quiet." So clearly, at least Naveen thinks that being quiet and just placating the gator will is the best route,
Right.
and not being suspicious. And then he goes and does the exact opposite.
Oh my god! TV, Fred. Boom.
Right.
There you go, Fred. I blame Fred. Fred, you're fired.
The first mention of the night.
Yep.
All right. In the other realm, Tiana watches helplessly as Naveen battles the beast below. He calls for her to use the spear, and she lunges it into the beast and pulls Naveen aboard. Naveen's been wounded, and Tiana's about to go for help when Facilier appears and reveals that this was all his doing. He needed someone to kill the gator so that he could retrieve a necklace. She demands he help Naveen as her price for killing the gator. He relents and helps Naveen, who instantly vanishes. Facilier told Tiana she would not pay the price. He said nothing of Naveen. He will be under Facilier's control until the debt is repaid. Tiana says she will stop at nothing to find him, and with that, Facilier vanishes. At the food fair, Drew tries to make things right with Sabine by giving her his safety permit, and Sabine opens her truck and is back in business. Meanwhile, Weaver and Rogers break into the bakery and immediately smell gas. They find the blind baker unconscious but alive. A lock of her hair is missing. Seems there's a killer in H-Town and they're far from finished. Okay, this is where I was jumping ahead from here. That's you can't just give your food permit to someone.
Right? Isn't there like signatures involved in that?
There's,
like how
it makes no sense. You can't just be like, hey, here, take this. You'll need it.
I've been a fast food manager, fast food worker, fast food manager. So I've carried many food safety permits, food safety manager permits, all that kind of stuff. You're certified, not just like a blank certificate that just certifies someone. Just like it isn't like the Wizard of Oz giving you a decree. It's a thing that has your name on it, and it's Robert Hawk is now, permitted for food safety, and they got the part right where yes, one person on staff or on the premises or whatever the case may be has to be certified, but there has to be someone certified. But for him to just be like, oh well, here's my now granted, at the end of the episode, he was working with her, so I guess technically he was, she was using his food permit by letting him work, by doing it that way.
Exactly what you're saying. Yeah,
I saw it.
To be honest, it kind of seemed like her truck, her truck, and her items, everything like that, just seemed like a partner of his. So maybe he could have been like, oh hey, this is my other food truck, but my employee's driving it.
It doesn't even matter at that point, because he's has a safety permit and he's working there with her, so he has a permit. But before that, they were playing it out as if like, oh, here's my safety permit, now you can open your truck. It doesn't work like that. The truck's not permitted, and even if the truck's permitted, that's that's just not how any of that works.
Right. It's still you as the person who are rendering services and who is rendering and dispensing food to customers. It
just seemed like a bunch of lazy researching on the writing staff. Fred had a knock at the script.
He had one job.
Yeah. Apparently, he wrote that scene. But not only that, apparently he did double duty because he was working in the CGI department this week too.
Oh my God,
that was rough. I don't know what it was supposed. I don't even understand why they would even do that. They'd have been better off to just show bubbling stuff on the surface with Sabine going ooh, or Tiana or whatever, you know.
oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Expecting good CGI from the show.
No, but that's not my point at all. We all know that the CGI is bad, but why even go there? Like
Hey,
it looked like a scene from a scene from a video game. It looked like a cutscene.
Yes, very bad. I'll give you that, Elizabeth. There's some scenes they do well with, but what I'm saying,
like in the first season, the dragon, I thought that was pretty good.
I will give you that there are some things that they do well, but what they did, as soon as they saw a cut, you know, whoever saw the dailies or whatever before that made it to air, they should have been like, "Ooh, no, no, no."
I mean, I know it was really obvious CGI. I'm not saying the scene wasn't good. I'm not saying the scene was good.
It wasn't even just obvious. It wasn't even just obvious CGI. It was painful.
It was painful to watch. It hurt. I think my eye was literally feeling like somebody had scratched it.
God, I don't even understand. Like, I'm sorry.
Like, can I just say how bad it was? Can I tell you? It was awful, terrible, inconceivable. Okay.
Did you write notes on how bad it was?
Yes, I did, and here it is.
You've got a vocabulary.
One for word. That awful, terrible, inconceivable CGI. And honestly, if a real crocodile was attacking people, don't you think it would be a little bit more violent than that, and even graphical?
And more blood?
And more blood. Yeah, that's why I said graphical or graphic. Wouldn't it have been more graphic? And wouldn't he have at least ripped off a leg? And that,
like
Hyperion Heights persona, what's his name?
Drew
would have had a pegged leg. I mean, yeah, it was totally unbelievable. Like I said, it looked like a cutscene from a video game. Naveen himself.
I've seen better scenes in video games.
I am pouring haterade all over this scene.
Yeah, it was terrible. And this is coming from a show where like even Monica said, like, you know, oh, haven't you come to expect bad CGI? Yes. And even
yes, we have.
This was even poor to their standards.
Right. It's like they told a person who just graduated out of college to say, hey, can you
this came from like the Dave School in Orlando.
Oh my God! Shots fired.
Oh. I have no idea what's going on right now.
Later on, Greetings from Storybrooke is going to receive a tweet saying, "Hey, we resent that comment."
What's the Dave School?
It's a digital audio video school in Universal.
But how do they know about it? Was it like on the news?
No. I was just it was just me saying this is like some things that some 19-year-old would put together for a college reel.
Yes.
Okay. It was just Monica and Tony's reaction. I'm like, wait, does everybody know something I don't know?
It just seems like it was.
It's a school that does a lot of video game art. You know, their students do a lot of video game art and CGI stuff. And
this is somebody's final project for college.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this was their thesis.
They advertised on another podcast.
This was their thesis, and they got
the only reason I've ever heard of them.
Okay.
Oh, the Dave School.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
I live, close to Orlando, so that's why. But anyway, that's Monica. Do you have anything to add, Monica?
Not on this one.
All right, just want to make sure before I moved on.
It hurt. Go ahead, continue, but it hurts. My feelings.
Sandy/Facilier, when they're joined by Weaver, Gold, I don't know at this point. He's come to tell them what he knows. Turns out the doctor was part of the coven as well. The coven isn't killing people. Someone is killing off the coven. At Jacinda's, Henry goes over the mixtape she made him. Lucy is in the other room reading when her closet door opens. She goes to look and finds nothing. As she crawls into bed, a storybook page falls from her robe. She looks at it and reads aloud. And Drusilla stood victorious, for if true love's kiss should ever break the curse, Henry Mills would surely die. With that, she runs into the living room just in time, Smooch blocking Henry by insisting on another game. As the food fair closes, Sabine thanks Drew for helping her out in the end. He takes out the trash, and Sandy appears to congratulate Drew on a job well done. He asks Sandy why they have to trick Sabine. He says she will help him get something he's been after for a long time. In the other realm, the coronation resumes. Tina has decided that she will need help to rule and invites everyone to accompany her. The people should meet them as well. Regina stays behind and calls out Facilier, who has been there the whole time. He's come to return a necklace to her, and he's come to return a necklace to her. He misses his queen. They embrace. Back in the Heights, Ronnie knocks on Sandy's door. He greets her as Kelly, but he knows better. She wants to know, but she knows better. Jesus. She wants to know what he's up to. He invites her in, but she kind of declines. He walks away, leaving the door open. She waits and scoffs before going in and closing the door behind her.
Bow chicka wow wow. Sorry.
Okay, I hesitated on even bringing this up, but okay, so like that the scene in the other realm where they're all going to go off to the coronation and Henry's holding Lucy.
Yeah.
How is that Lucy? Did anyone see that or no?
What do
How
you mean?
like that baby was like white with blonde hair. Maybe that was Amelia.
Maybe the baby. Maybe the baby.
But there was like no olive. There was no olive complexion. There was no dark hair. I don't know. I just like I mean it wasn't even just. I mean it was like a white. I mean like real like almost all. I don't even.
I didn't actually notice that.
As far as the hair color goes, I was blonde till about 3 years old.
Baby's hair color do change.
Right.
That I will give you that.
What if she, what if her hair, and the skin pigmentation? Well, I'm sorry, did I say that right? The skin, what do they call it?
Yeah, pigmentation. You were right.
Yeah. Babies, sometimes they get lighter, sometimes they get
change.
darker,
I know, but I just for some reason I saw Henry with that baby and like standing next to Ella, and I was just like,
"Whose baby is this?"
Yeah, that'd be one of those moments where you'd be like,
Jerry. I'm so ignorant.
Oh my god.
But
the lie detector detected that was a lie.
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I didn't, but I don't know. And like I saw, like, and I'm pretty sure because I even, I watched the episode a few times when I do the notes, and like each time I was just like almost thrown off. Like I couldn't even pay attention to what was going on in the scene. I was just like, yeah.
That baby not yours.
You wrong.
Whose baby y'all stole?
It's Nick's.
Yeah, right?
Right. That's the reason why I said Jerry. So basically, what if wild theory coming,
okay, go ahead.
What if Jacinda and Nick had a baby? And that was Amelia.
There you go. There's Amelia.
One pregnancy, 2 different babies.
Right. Two different babies.
Okay.
Beth, you finally have something to add here?
Oh, I got a lot to say right now. Okay.
Right, go ahead.
Hold on. Let me get to it so I can go down this categorically or whatever. Okay. Wait, is this right? Are we on E?
We are on E, yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm starting to forget. Let me read this real quick.
Uh-oh.
Don't forget.
I'm like, I know what I really want to say, but I want to like say more. So okay. Oh my god, I was gonna say something. This conversation like took a twist, and I wasn't okay. So
Fine.
I have to think. I'm sorry. Okay. Yes, the closet. That's what I want to talk about. All right. So Lucy sees her closet door like open by itself, and my immediate thought is, "Don't go near it. Don't go near it." I'm freaking out. Going, if that was my closet, I would have been like, "Mom, Dad!" I would have been like screaming my head off.
Right.
I would not have gotten out of that bed. I'm still afraid of the boogeyman under my bed. I'm like, no. I'm just like, and the fact that she just got up all willy-nilly and just checked it herself, I'm like, this child is way braver than I am as a 30-year-old woman. Because there would have been no way I would have gotten out of bed if that thing had moved on its own. I'm like, no. Okay, so that's that part. Okay, and then, okay, so my biggest issue that I have been complaining about 48 hours, and that my whole family has been listening to, and now it's your turn. Okay, Regina and Facilier. No!
Yeah.
I say. No! Okay, Regina has always loved good guys. Okay, we got Robin, and then before that was, help me with the name.
Daniel.
Daniel, thank you. So she's always like these really good guys that are good for her, and now all of a sudden, no, this guy, this is not love. To me, the two scenes with them together, this is a booty call. This is lust. This is not a love story, and I don't like it because I'm thinking like, Regina, you're going like backwards. You know, if this show is ending, and it is, they should be putting her with someone that will love her and will not die. And I'm upset because they're putting her with someone who is clearly a bad guy, clearly bad for her, clearly using her. And I just don't approve of this at all. I'm like, I got my guns blazing. I'm upset, and I'm just like, no, this is wrong. Why would she be taking a step back and going for a clearly bad boy when her history shows that she likes the good guys, as she should? So I'm like, what the heck are the writers doing here? I mean, because they said in articles they're setting her up for a new love story, and I'm like, this is not a love story. This is not. This is the opposite of a love story. So I'm just like, really, really upset. Okay, I'm good. I'm done. I'm done ranting. Thank you.
Oh.
Go ahead. Try to counter what I said.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, to be fair, that this, that this was all set in motion before they realized for sure that this was the end of the series. So I'm sure it will be something that will be course corrected. That being said, like I said earlier, I really don't even understand how it even makes sense that I
have a theory.
Okay.
I have a wild theory, but I'll wait.
Okay. Like I said, to me, it doesn't make any kind of sense whatsoever. And then also, to be fair, at the end of the episode, all we really saw was Regina go into the apartment. Yeah, we did.
Come on! Don't act like it's gonna be innocent. Bobby, don't you dare! Okay, they gave each other looks. He left the door wide open for her. I'm sorry, I've seen enough TV in my day to know what a booty call looks like.
I know.
Out you go, wow.
Once again, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. Yeah, I really don't have anything else to say as far as that's concerned. And I've skipped way far ahead in the notes. Monica, do you have anything? Or Tony. Actually, it's Tony's here. Actually, well, Monica, why don't we go ahead and let you go first because you had something about the book in the closet.
Go ahead, Monica.
I wanted it to be the book. I mean, the book from Snow White. But after I thought about it, didn't Belfry have that?
She did
misremember.
actually. She did. Uh-huh.
Right.
Okay.
That's what she was telling Henry about earlier in the episode.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I wanted it to be the book, but a page is good. And do trash bags not have any weight in this town? Did anyone else notice that it looked like it was full of shipping peanuts or something? Because
No.
it
Oh,
had
what, at the end of the or
volume.
with
When Drew
Drew?
took out the
Drew,
trash,
take out the trash. Okay.
and Sabine said, "Oh, you missed the bag," and they
I don't know. I
had the
mean,
shape of full trash bags, but it didn't seem. It didn't look
it
like
was
it had
probably just
any
a bunch of
weight.
crumpled up paper.
Fred.
Yeah, it looked weird.
Fred was busy.
I have
Friday.
another thing. I have another thing I just thought of. My heart's still pounding. I swear to God. Okay. So who is creeping in this little girl's room when she's in bed, leaving this page for her? Yes, I'm glad she found it and saved Henry's life, but at the same time, it's like she is a 10-year-old child who is magicking themselves or this page in this room so she can find it. It's a little creepy
I don't
because we
think
don't
it's
even
any.
see who it is.
I don't think it is anyone.
Well, then
Me
how did it get
either.
there?
I don't think it is either
It's
because
the
then
same.
guess
No
do you
one. The
remember
same person that put the storybook in Snow White's closet. Or
Right.
The
Or-
same
We never
person
knew who
that
did
put
that.
the page
Or-
no
in
one did.
Robin's
She just
backpack.
found it there. She just found it
right,
there.
right, Robin's backpack, like Monica said, but because in
It's
I'm
like
thinking what it
I
is,
think wasn't it?
every
Go ahead.
single inch of that storybook is magical. So
Well,
whether you get a page or you get the whole book, it's the book moseying itself
Regina
within the
got
whole show.
like
Okay.
the
All
like
right, all right.
it's just fate. I believe it was earlier. I don't remember what season it was, but when when Snow White talked about finding the book, she was just like, when I needed hope, I just opened the closet and it was there.
Right. And maybe okay, think about it. Also Henry is the author of the book, so maybe he's still like his powers are probably still like not even under his control. Like remember when he was younger, when he was all of a sudden just writing in the storybook with no type of knowledge of what's going on, white eyes, white mystical eyes, he had no type of control. Like maybe the book itself is magic because it took every writer from him and the past and back, to write that book. So that book is magical. So whether you get a page or you get the whole book, it's the book reaching out to that person because, and of course, Lucy has a lot of hope. She's the daughter of the guy who has the heart of the truest believer. So that magic should have rubbed off somehow.
Okay.
And
I stand
without
corrected
it,
on this point.
yeah,
Correct.
like that book is magical. Like I said, it moves either itself or whole or anything. It's magical. So that's how it's making its way through everybody.
All right, and
Book, the page,
finally,
all that.
and then finally, Tony, you had some thoughts about Facilia and Regina.
Yeah. I have oh Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
ahead.
I don't ship. No. Mm-mm. And if this is the romantic relationship that they wrote about in several different articles, the the Outlaw Queen fandom will be in an uproar.
Well, yeah, just look at Elizabeth.
There will be Elizabeth times 20.
Right.
Like,
I'll be
trust
in
me, I'll be in it too. I'll be with you guys too because every time I see a tweet from Adam Howitz, because I follow him on Twitter. Every time he puts in a tweet about Once Upon a Time, somebody always has something to say. Bring back Robin. Do this to Robin. Bring back bring him back to life. Nobody in Storybrooke ever stays dead. Blah 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 blah. It's like he wasn't even talking about that, and yet they want him back. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. One, I want to know the timeline in which I know timelines are really screwed up in this show now. I don't know, but timelines. But I want to know, when does she even have time to even meet Facilier? I want to know when,
I know.
because it kind of makes me think like this. Okay, how long does it take to get to mend the broken heart of a person who had their true love taken away from them? I imagine a couple years, and she.
Maybe never.
Who knows? And when she starts to still kind of, I'm thinking that maybe it's early evil Regina, because she seemed like she was a big fan of Maleficent. Like when she really started to, like to be under Rumpelstiltskin's tutelage. So like she's evil now. She's turning evil. She's drawing from Maleficent as her mentor. Blah blah blah. All throughout that timing, it just seems like maybe that would have been the perfect time for them to have a thing, because he's not the only bad boy that she's had a quote unquote lust relationship with. If you remember back when her and Rumpelstiltskin, for a time when that was still disgusting, when they had a thing in the back of his shop. So it kind of makes you think about how many times has she had a lust relationship with bad people. So it's not that they're not meant to be together.
That wasn't really Regina. That was the evil queen, wasn't it?
It's still her. Period. She said.
I want to separate it.
She even said it herself. Like, once upon a time, me and Rumpelstiltskin, we had a thing. So
I can't handle it. I can't.
Going on.
After Rumpelstiltskin had a change of heart. When it comes to different people she dates.
Either.
Nobody did. That was disgusting. But I don't know. I mean, I guess in the end of my little rant, I want to know with what the timeline. What is their relationship? FWB. I don't know. That's what it seemed like.
Well, we'll see how they try to tie it all in, and I'm sure we'll have a lot to say about that when it happens.
I will.
We all will.
Okay. And I guess that really does it for this week's episode. So let's just go ahead with our arbitrary scale. I'm guessing Tony put this in here. Adjust it just a little bit. Say out of 110 scales on a poorly CGI'd gator. How many scales will you give this one, Elizabeth?
Crap! I was hoping you wouldn't ask me first. Out of 110?
Yeah.
58.
Okay, so
Ow.
yeah, wow, we're not a fan of this episode.
I tried to watch it a second time and I couldn't.
Wow.
I couldn't do it. Ooh. I knew what was going to happen at the end, and I'm just like, no.
Is that your biggest thing? Was Facilier and Regina?
And the closet and yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Monica, what do you give this episode out of 110 scales on a poorly CGI'd gator?
104.
Oh, okay. So sounds like you actually were a fan of the episode.
Well, last week bored me.
I remember.
And this week
Yeah.
didn't. So I mean, I would rather hate an episode than be bored by it. So
Understood. So did you hate this episode?
No,
Okay.
I loved it. I mean,
Okay.
When I fail to take notes on a first watch,
Mhm.
it means either it was so bad I didn't have anything to say, or it was so good I was so in it.
I understand.
And that's what happened this episode.
That's good to hear. It's good to hear. Tony, what do you give this week's episode?
79.
Okay.
What's
All right.
different?
So got like a B or C going there.
C.
Yeah.
The only way that it was saved from not getting like 40
Okay.
was because I was excited to finally see, Naveen, and I was actually finally, excited to see Tiana's backstory about, once-ified Tiana backstory and see what that would, that it was like. And I was waiting for Dr. Facilier to come back, but I wasn't ready for that
Mm-hmm.
with him and Regina. I wasn't
I
ready.
hang my head in shame.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready. But yeah,
Okay.
that's it. What about you? On a scale of
What about
110
me?
scales from a poorly CGI alligator.
um. Well, like I said, I really did like the scene. I thought they did really well with the Baker Witch. I did not care for the CGI like we mentioned. I don't know. Weighing it all together, I think I'm gonna be right there in the ballpark with you, Tony, and I'm gonna give it an 82.
All right, that's not bad. Gave it a
I
C
mean,
plus.
yeah. I mean, I'll give him an A for effort, but an F for what's the word I was looking for? Uh, I don't know. I
For
forgot. Um,
for
I had the word, but anyway, it escapes me. It doesn't matter at this point. Um, and I guess really that does it. I mean, not a whole lot of news, with the show coming to a close. I mean, I did happen to look at the ratings. It was a little up from last week.
Oh yay!
Oh, an F for execution.
well,
A for effort and F for execution. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. Like they tried, but they just couldn't get it right.
it
Anyway.
can't get right.
But yeah, so I think it was like a 2.6 million viewers for a 5 share. So up a little, basically what it's been getting for
Before it dipped.
all of this season before it started to dip last episode. And I don't know. I feel like the people that stuck around. The people that didn't. I think that's pretty much what you're gonna. I don't think you're gonna see it like dip to a 0.1. I mean, I feel like at this point, the people that have stayed, are here to stay. They know it's ending, and so they're just gonna go down with the ship.
Mm-hmm. I've said it now, and I'm saying it again. I'm going down with it. So,
Yeah.
hey,
But they've announced there's been some a few announcements over the past few weeks of like story, that they're more likely going to be going back to Storybrooke, and we're going to be getting characters. They said, I think last week they said Granny would be coming back. Yeah. So at this point, I think it's all just going to be a matter of scheduling. I think they're going to try to bring back as many people as they can.
They can't do Charming because he's got a plot.
Pilot. You mean?
Pilot.
Yeah.
So does Jennifer Goodwin. So
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I still feel, but I also read that they're also still trying to get Emma, Jennifer Morrison for even. I feel like even if they could get everyone for just a brief moment, just to get like a day for but I mean it's a day that all of them would have free, but
I just think it would be so cool if Emma could meet like her granddaughter and her son's like wife. Like that would be a cool moment.
No, that's what I'm saying. So
that's the same thing that I was wondering.
Really
and
nice.
I want to see baby Hook and Emma and Hook's baby. I want to see it. Is it a boy? Is it a girl? I want to know.
Yeah,
They're going to have the time jump. Sorry to keep cutting you off, Bobby, but
there's a lot of choices
here. They're going to have to do a time jump for a Storybrooke for them to even show an infant.
Well, they're time jumping all over the place anyway, so it wasn't matter.
It is, and who's to say that they're not saying, "Huh, and a few years later, and they live happily ever after," and then all of a sudden they sneak in, baby, Hema. There you go, Hema.
Emma.
Captain Emma, baby. Yeah, yes, Captain Swan, baby. They gonna sneak it in and be
I
like,
think
"Oh
Bobby said it like, and I see Bobby's reaction to Hema, and it's not a good one.
look." I don't know. I don't.
Well, with that, this week draws to a close. And like we all said, we're all going down with the ship, and we want to hear from you guys. I think we forgot to mention this last week, but we don't really get a lot of voicemails anyway. But if you do want to send any our way, you can always email us at greetingsfromstorybrooke@gmail.com. The Twitter is at GFStorybrooke. Facebook is facebook.com/greetingsfromstorybrooke. And the voicemail is 424-274-2352. That's 424-274-2352. And like I said, if no one else has anything to add, I think that's going to be it for this week. Hopefully next week, if there's any CGI, it's a lot better, and they do away with whatever's going on with Regina and Facilier. What was next week? I forgot.
Yeah, bye, y'all.
All right, premature again. I did not mean to press that button. But what was next week? I forgot. I remember seeing the
Nightfall is the name of the episode.
Did any of you watch the promo or no?
No. Oh wait, yes I did. I don't remember it though.
Yeah, I remember
Can't wait to get off.
maybe a young Alice. I remember seeing maybe it was about like the kind of what happened with Nook and Alice, as far as how they've got the whole heart thing going on and they
Maybe I
can't be
didn't
near
see
each
it.
other.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Anyway, I remember there being like it definitely looked like there was a bit more action than there was in this week. So hopefully we have a bit more to talk about. A bit less haterade to spill, because this week's episode was Monica liked it.
Because this week's episode.
All right, and with that being said, until next week, guys. Greetings from
Storybrooke.
Hyperion Heights.